Hey everybody, how are you all today? I'm enjoying this blustery, windy day, as Winnie the Pooh would say. I'm going to read you a story today, and then we're going to talk about some things before we do our craft today, okay? So I'm going to read you a story about the diary of a worm, okay? So I hope you all like worms. I love worms. My little girl loves worms. We play with worms all the time. So anyways, we're going to read this and we're going to talk about some important jobs that worms do for the environment. So, Diary of a Worm by Doreen Cronin. And this is just like the worm was making the diary himself. March 20th. Mom says there are 3 things I should always remember. The earth gives us everything we need. See, there he is. Here's the earth, giving him everything he needs. Number 2, when we dig tunnels, we help take care of the earth. Must make tunnel, help earth breathe. And number 3, never bother Daddy when he's eating the newspaper. Chomp. Wonder what it would be like if you couldn't bother your daddy if he was eating the newspaper. That'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it? March 29th. Today, I tried to teach Spider how to dig. But does Spider understand how to dig? Like there's a question mark. I know it's backwards. I'm sorry. I didn't put my mirror imaging on. I forgot. So Spider doesn't know how to dig. And Worm's trying to teach him. First of all, his legs got stuck. Poor Spider. Oh, I think I must have twisted one of my ankles. And then he swallowed a bunch of dirt. Like he's spitting it out. And Worm says, I give up. Tomorrow, he's going to teach me how to walk upside down. Do you think that the worm is going to learn how to walk upside down? We'll have to see. March 30th. Worms cannot walk upside down. They don't have legs, do they? They can't do it. Look. Oh my goodness. Poor worm. Spider's trying to hold on to him. Worms cannot walk upside down. April 4th. Fishing season started today. We all dug deeper because what do people use worms for during fishing season? To fish. And there comes the shovel. There's Grandpa, he's sleeping. And then there's Dad saying, did you guys hear something? Sound like a shovel going to dig down and get him. April 10th. It rained all night and the ground was soaked. We spent the entire day on the sidewalk. Hopscotch is a very dangerous game. So have you guys ever noticed that after a rain that you see worms out on the pavement and on parking lots and sidewalks and stuff like that? I was just walking over to get something for our craft and I saw a worm laying out on a piece of wood that we have because it rained this morning. They like wet places. April 15th. I forgot my lunch today. I got so hungry that I ate my homework. If you ate your homework, do you think you would get in trouble? Oh my goodness. My teacher made me write, I will not eat my homework 10 times when I was finished. I ate that too. Oh my goodness, he even ate his punishment. I wonder what would happen to you if you even ate your penalty that you wrote. That would be horrible, wouldn't it? Poor worm. April 20th. I snuck up on some kids in the park today. They didn't hear me coming. That's pretty funny. Can you hear worms coming? No, they're too quiet, aren't they? I wiggled up right between them and they screamed. I love it when they do that. That's a fun worm game, isn't it? May 1st. Grandpa taught us that good manners are very important. So today I said good morning to the first ant that I saw. Good morning. There was 600 more of them in line. Good morning, 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 good morning. I stood there all day telling every one of them good morning because ants always are together in their colony, aren't they? And they're always in a line. May 8th. Had the worst nightmare last night. Giant birds playing hopscotch. Oh my goodness. That would be horrible if you were a worm, wouldn't it? Mom says I have to stop eating so much garbage right before I go to bed. Oh, that must be what's giving him the nightmares. Sometimes it's not good for us to eat right before we go to bed. We do have nightmares, don't we? Uh-oh, skipped a page here. May 15th. I got into a fight with Spider today. He told me you need legs to be cool, and then he ran. I couldn't keep up. Oh, maybe he's right. Do you have to have, does he have to have legs to be cool? I'm sorry, my cat's shaking the table. Do you think he has to have legs to be cool? No, we don't have to be like other people to be cool. We have to be ourselves. That's what makes us cool, right? So he's cool just for being a worm, because worms are pretty cool, aren't they? May 16th. I made Spider laugh so hard, he fell out of his tree. Who needs legs? The legs didn't help him, did they? May 28th. Last night, I went into the school dance. You put your head in, you put your head out. Oh, this is the Hokey Pokey. You put your head in, you put your head out. You do the Hokey Pokey and you turn yourself about. That's all we could do. Because that's all the body parts they have. They can't put in other body parts, can they? June 5th. Today, we made macaroni necklaces in art class. It says, put head in macaroni, wiggle, squirm, and stretch. Aren't those beautiful? If you were to make a macaroni necklace, you'd probably need a whole lot more macaroni than that, wouldn't you? Definitely, because you're not a worm. You have a pretty good-sized neck. I brought mine home, and we ate it for dinner. You're very talented. That's what Dad's saying. I wonder if you made an art project and you took it home, do you think your family would eat it? This worm's life's a lot different from our life, isn't it? June 15th. My older sister thinks she's so pretty. I told her that no matter how much time she spends looking in the mirror, her face will always look just like her rear end. I'm sorry, because they look the same on both ends, don't they? That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Spider thought that was really funny. Mom did not. She fussed at him. Surely nobody on here would tease brothers and sisters, would they? July 4th. When I grow up, I want to be a Secret Service agent. Spider says I will have to be very careful because the president might step on me by mistake. So true. He is a worm, and worms are small, aren't they? Hey, it's a dangerous job, I said, but somebody's got to do it. Exactly. July 28th. 3 things I don't like about being a worm. 1, I can't chew gum. That would be a bummer. 2, I can't have a dog. Also another bummer. 3, all that homework. So he's got digging, a history, soil through the ages, my casting journal, night crawlers, and compost 101. That sounds like a lot of homework, doesn't it? July 29th. 3 good things about being a worm. 1, I never have to go to the dentist. Maybe that's a good thing. No cavities, no teeth either, so he wouldn't have to go. 2, I never get in trouble for tracking mud through the house. So true, their house is mud. 3, I never have to take a bath. Ew, he's my grubby little boy. That's what his mommy's saying. There's a big difference between a kid and a worm, isn't there? Are you glad to be a kid, or would you rather be a worm? That's a tough question, isn't it? August 1st. It's not always easy being a worm. We're very small, and sometimes people forget that we're even here. They're way underground, and we forget about that sometimes. But like Mom always says, the earth never forgets that we're here, because they're pretty important to the earth. Oh, here's some pictures. This is where the bee stung him. This is where he's eating a leaf, which of course the leaf is a $20 bill. That's bad. He thought he found this really cool rock, which was a baseball. Oh, and Mom and Dad's anniversary. Gross. Shoo. Here's his own comic, Super Worm. Here's his sister's slumber party that he's crashing. And here's his favorite pile of dirt. That is the end. That's a pretty cool little book, isn't it? Well, since I read this about worms, we're going to talk about how worms can help us and what it has to do to keep Clark County beautiful. So today I'm going to tell you just real quick, and then we're going to make a really cool craft. But we're going to talk about composting really quick. And composting is so much fun, and this is a great project for you guys to be doing now while you're at home and you're not able to go anywhere, and you can really see some science come to life. Okay, it's really fun. So this is science for a little bit older kids, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it, okay? Composting has to deal with a chemical change, okay? So if you're younger, you may have heard about chemicals. Chemicals are things that sometimes hurt our body. They may be things that will burn us or things like that. So a chemical change is actually how you change the way, how something is made up. Okay, so a lot of times we go through physical changes. A physical change is how we change the way we look. Like maybe we get a haircut. Our hair is still hair. It just may be a lot shorter than it was. We may take a piece of paper and we might color it black. That's a physical change. That paper was white and now you've colored it black. You may take a cube of ice and let it melt. Well, that cube of ice was frozen water, and when it melts, it's still water. So that's a physical change. So you've just changed the way something looks. So a chemical change actually is changing the way something, the makeup of something, how it is made. Okay, so let's think about this real quick. All right, so let's think about that we're going to make a cake. Okay, so the basic cake recipe is going to be flour and sugar and maybe an egg. Most definitely an egg and butter, and let's say we're going to put some cocoa in it. We'll make a chocolate cake, and we might put some oil in it or some milk or something, okay? So we put all of that stuff into a mixing bowl and we mix it up, and then what do we do with it? We put it into the oven, okay? So to have a chemical change, you have to have heat, okay? That's the major important thing. To make a chemical change, there has to be heat of some sort. Okay, so I'm going to put my cake into the oven, and when I bake it, that batter has turned into a bread-like substance, isn't it, like cake? Okay, so once I've made that cake, I put an egg in it, but can I pull that egg out now? I can't. It's completely changed. Can I pull the flour out? I can't. I can't pull out any one of those single ingredients out of that cake that I had put in because it underwent a chemical change. That flour, that sugar, that milk, that butter, that egg, that cocoa, all of that stuff went in there and changed into something completely different. That is a chemical change, okay? So it's kind of like the same thing with wood when you burn wood. Once you burn it and it turns to ash, you can't turn it back into wood. It's something completely different. So that's what a chemical change is. It's changing something and making it completely different. So composting is a chemical change. We're going to take things and we're going to change it into something completely different. Isn't that cool? All right, so here's what we need. If you want to decide that you want to compost over the next few weeks, I'm going to tell you how to do that, okay? You need 4 things to make compost. That's it. Sounds really easy, right? Okay, so you have to have brown stuff, you have to have green stuff, you have to have air, and you have to have water. Okay, so the air we're obviously getting today, right? It's pretty windy here at my house. Water we get from rain, right? So that's all, we're covered on those 2 things. Okay, so let's talk about the brown stuff and the green stuff, okay? All right. So when I talk about brown stuff and green stuff, I'm not actually talking about that I need to put all brown things in or all green things in or whatever. We're actually talking about the mineral content that's in those objects, okay? So brown things is not poop, okay? I promise. You don't want to put poop in compost. That's just gross, okay? You can if you want to, but I don't, okay? So that's just gross. Don't even put it in there, okay? So when we talk about brown stuff, we are talking about things that are high in carbon. So when any living thing dies, it starts to let off carbon. And so then scientists can go through a method called carbon dating, and they can figure out how long ago something lived based on how much carbon is still left in that organism when it died, okay? So all living things when they die let off carbon, okay? So what you're looking for is things that are dead, like brown leaves and dead grass and dead weeds, things like that, okay? Even paper, because paper is no longer alive. And another brown thing would be like dryer lint, because dryer lint comes from your clothes that are made from cotton. Cotton is a plant, but that cotton is no longer alive, it is dead. So even the dryer lint would be something that is carbon, okay? So brown stuff is dead things, stuff that has carbon in it, okay? And if you ever buy fertilizer in town, man-made fertilizer, chemical fertilizer has carbon in it. But this is a natural carbon that's not going to hurt you, and it's not going to hurt the environment, okay? Alright, so we have to have carbon, we have to have air, we have to have water, and we have to have this green stuff over here, okay? So green stuff is things that are full of nitrogen. So anything that is alive has nitrogen in it, okay? So any fruits and vegetables are going to be full of nitrogen. So when you go and you buy that chemical fertilizer at Lowe's or a Tractor Supply or Co-op or wherever, it's going to have nitrogen in it as well, okay? So this is natural nitrogen that's good for you, good for the earth, and it's not chemical, okay? Alright, so you can put in any kind of fruit and vegetable scraps that you want to into this compost, okay? You can put your banana peels, you can put your apple cores, you can put your orange rinds, you can even put eggshells and peanut shells and any other kind of nut shells that you have. You can put coffee grounds in there. That's really good for compost, okay? You can put in, like if you weeded your garden, you can put those weeds in that are freshly pulled and they're still green, okay? But just because it says green stuff doesn't mean, because banana peels aren't green, are they? Orange rinds aren't green. Apple cores are not green. So we're not really talking about green things. We're talking about things that are alive and have nitrogen in them, okay? So that's all you need to do, and you just need a container to put it in, or just need a place to put it. A lot of people will just take chicken wire and like make a little circle or a square and just throw their stuff in it and just let it go. I'm going to show you here in a minute when we get done. I'll show you what my compost is in. Mine's in a trash can with holes bored out in it so that it can get the air that it needs. And we've done it for a couple of years now, and it makes compost, okay? So you can also, I went to Iams Nature Center last summer, and they have a compost pile, but they just have theirs just laying out in the middle of a field. You could do that too. The reason we keep ours in a container is just to keep animals from digging around. But if you do compost right, animals shouldn't dig around in it, because number one, compost doesn't stink if it's done right, okay? If it stinks, you've done something wrong. And we're not going to put any kind of meat in compost. We can put all the fruits and vegetables that we want. We can put all the dead plant matter that we want into it, but we're not going to put meat. We're not going to put oils. We're not going to put any kind of fat or grease or anything like that, or any other kind of animal byproduct like dairy. You can put the eggshell, but not the yolk or the white that's inside the egg, okay? Because all of those things are going to attract animals that you don't want digging into your compost, and they'll also attract maggots and all that stuff, and that's just gross. So we just keep ours in a container because we have lots of raccoons around our house and possums and stuff, and so we just do it like that to keep something from digging in it. But I mean, you could do it anyway. You don't have to have anything fancy. A lot of people have those little tumblers. We don't even do that. You can just throw all your stuff together, and if you leave it in about 6 months time, it will do its own thing. Once you start mixing all that stuff together, and if you want to speed it up, you can throw in dirt. Dirt has, 1 tablespoon of dirt has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of little microscopic organisms called microbes living in there. And those little microbes' job is to take and break down the organic matter in the dirt and make it into dirt, if that makes sense. So anyways, you can do it like that. You can put the worms in, because worms take and they break up that organic matter and turn it into dirt. So that's why worms are so important. You can put pill bugs in there, sow bugs, you can put snails, anything like that, any of these guys. And if you leave it out, they're going to find it, because that's their food, that's what they eat. And then they turn it into dirt for us, okay? So if you use earthworms, that is called vericomposting, okay? So that's a big scientific word for you guys today. Vericomposting, composting with earthworms. So anyways, I have dug around in mine a few times, and I have found a couple of snails that make it into the holes. I don't think that I've ever really found a worm, but I've never really dug in it too much. Once you get everything laying together, you can dig in it if you want to. If it starts to smell, you've either got too much brown stuff or too much green stuff, and you just adjust it. It should be about half and half. Sometimes it might need watered That'll help it not stink. You just kind of have to play around with it and do whatever you have to get it not to stink. But composting is really easy. So when all those little microbes are in there doing their thing, and they're eating this organic matter and they're breaking it down, it creates heat. Okay, so this compost pile is going to cook itself, basically, and it can reach temperatures of, I think it's like 1400 degrees Fahrenheit in the center. Okay, so when this compost is made, it's going to be completely sterilized because it's going to kill all those germs inside of it. Okay, there's nothing nasty about composting at all. All right, so it's pretty cool because that heat that it creates is that chemical change. It's going to take those eggshells and those coffee grounds and that brown stuff and that green stuff, and it's going to change it into something that is really good for your soil. So you can use it as a fertilizer, you can use it as a mulch, you can use it for anything like that. You can put it directly in the beds that you're going to plant your seeds in, or you can put them along the edges and let the roots come out and get the minerals and nutrients that are in it. So it's all just really cool stuff, and it's a really great science project because you're getting to see this actual chemical change right before your very eyes. Because once it does its thing, you're going to go in there and you're not going to be able to find those banana peels that you threw in there 2 or 3 days ago. You're not going to be, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to find those eggshells that you threw in months ago because they're going to be gone. Okay, isn't that just awesome that it does that? And it's something that you can put, hey Katie, how are you? Hey girls. So you can put it on your gardens, and you don't have to buy anything from Lowe's or Co-op or anything like that, and then you know that you did something on your own. Is that just not cool? Alright, so I hope you guys get a compost pile started. I'll show you mine here in just a minute. I want to go ahead and do my craft real quick before everything blows away because it is a little windy up here. Alright, so for your craft today, we're going to make a worm because we just read The Diary of a Worm and we talked about composting, and worms are great in helping with composting. So first of all, you need a stick. You need a pipe cleaner. You will need some googly eyes, probably little small googly eyes. So I've got some googly eyes here in the bag. I'm not going to glue mine on right now because we'll have to have a glue gun to glue those on, and I don't have a plug-in right here where I'm sitting at. So I'm going to glue mine on later for my little girl to play with. But if you make this worm, kids, make sure that you get your parents to help you with the hot glue gun because we don't want burnt fingers. It hurts, okay? Alright, so you just need a little twig. This is going to be our worm, and we're going to take our pipe cleaner. This is going to be super easy. And you're just going to wind it around your twig. And then, if you got littles, you might want to make sure all the little rough ends are snapped off and sanded down and stuff. My little girl's kind of past all that. Then on whichever end you want, because remember in the story, his sister was wondering if she was pretty, and he said that her head looked like her rear end. Worms look the same on both ends, so whichever end you want to be its head, just glue some little eyes on, okay, and that'll be your worm. I also found another really cool thing. If you have any mismatched, or you have any mateless socks, that's what I meant, mateless socks, then you can make a worm out of that sock, because you know sometimes the dryers mysteriously eat your socks and then you can't find them, or at least that seems to happen around here sometimes. So anyways, you could take those socks that don't have mates and you could stuff little sections and tie them off, and then stuff another little section and tie it off, and stuff another little section, tie it off, and glue little eyes on that, and you'd have a little worm toy, cuddle toy that your kids could play with. But real quick, I'm going to flip my camera around. I'm going to show you guys my compost bin. So I told you it was a trash can. So right here it is. It's a trash can, and it just has holes bored in it, and we keep a rock on top to keep it from the lid from blowing away. But I'm going to open it up and I'm going to show you. There's my compost bin. I have paper towels in there because those are brown things, dead things. I have leaves in there. I have eggshells, potato peelings, orange rinds. There's some stuff in there that's already broke down so much that I can't tell what it is. But anyways, that's all it is. And we don't really stir ours up either. We just kind of let ours do its thing. So down at the bottom, we do have some compost that's actually ready to go. So, you know, might get in there and dig around a little bit and dig it out and put it on our garden beds. But you can just leave it for 5-6 months and you're going to have some compost. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? So, thinking about our story and the worm, if you want to make a worm, please post a picture so we can see it. And with our story, I would really like to hear about what your day would be like if you were a worm. Maybe you're living in a compost bin and you want to tell something like that diary of that little worm. So maybe if you had some time and you wanted to make a diary of what it would be like to be a worm, that would be awesome. And I would love to read those. And I would even read them on here and let other people see them. That would be awesome. So if you decide to do that, you can send us a message through Facebook. You can either do it through Keep Clark County Beautiful, or you can even do my personal, Mika Henderson. Or you can email us at kccbdirector@gmail.com and we'll get those up. Don't forget our funky junk art contest submissions. You have till the end of April to make a piece of art from junk, and we'll get those in. We've had 3 today. I've got 2 more that I need to upload, but I got 2 in my email I saw. So we're going to get those up. That puts us up to 4 submissions. So that's really awesome. So we'd like to get all that stuff in. And parents, if you would like some recognition for having a beautiful yard, send us a picture of that. We'll get that in too, and we'll recognize you with taking pride, personal responsibility in your designated environment for the space that you live in, since right now we can't get out and pick up litter and stuff, okay? All right, Miss Greta will be on tomorrow. I will see you guys on Monday. So since I won't see you until Monday, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and stay well. Bye.